Hello everyone, good morning. So thank you for giving me the chance to introduce our lab, environmental lab. So my name is Feng Xiao, or go by Frank. I'm currently a associate professor at the University of North Dakota in civil engineering. I teach environmental courses. In this lab, we teach students how to measure the water quality parameters such as turbidity and hardness and calcium concentration in water, and also show students how to perform some simple jar tests to simulate the drinking water treatment system. So let me walk through with you on this lab. So we have, let me first introduce you. We have this fire extinguishers and the fire blanks and the fully equipped first aid, and also this university safety requirements. And also in lab, there's no food should be available allowed in the lab. And always wear eye protection and wear goggles. And this table we have goggles and gloves with different sizes. Normally we use a large size, but some students have smaller hands or have a medium size gloves available for students to use. Now let me introduce you for the units, instrument we use for our labs. And the first one I'm going to talk about is called turbidity meter. So this one is going to measure turbidity in the water, and this one is cost us $2,000, more than $2,000. And it's made by Hach, which is one of the largest water equipment companies in the US, probably in the world. This one is very convenient. You can carry it with you into the river, into lakes, outside into the field to measure turbidity in the water in the lakes. In the sat lab, this can give us an idea how clean the water is, how turbid the water is. So I purchased an instrument for the department by my own grants, more than $2,000. And the second unit I'm going to show you is this one is to measure alkalinity in the water. So our water has pH, we know pH, our pH is around 7. So why pH is around 7? Because there's alkalinity, the buffer inside the water. The alkalinity comes from carbon dioxide. Dissolving water transform to alkalinity, bicarbonate. I maintain the water pH normally around cycle neutral, about 7 to 8. That's very critical to our human beings and all the entire planet, because if the water pH changes by 2 or few units, many species will die. So these units can allow us to measure the alkalinity in the water and tell us whether the turbidity is too low or too high. The third unit I'm going to talk about is the hardness. You know, we are living in the Midwest region. This water is we call it hard, because it has a lot of calcium, a lot of magnesium in your water. So normally speaking, the calcium magnesium is not harmful to us. But if too much calcium magnesium, it's not good. It's going to introduce some kidney diseases. So this unit allows us to measure the hardness, magnesium hardness in the water, and tell us whether the water is hard or not. So the last unit I'm going to introduce is a jar test. So this is the system we can use to simulate the drinking water treatment coagulation and filtration step. Basically, we add the water into the different jars from 1 to 6, and then we add different amounts of coagulants. Then we start the instruments and light the jar, and stir the water for fast speeding for 1 minute, and then slow speeding mixing for about 20 minutes. Then we'll shut down the instrument and let the water settle. In this process, the water will form flocks in the water. The flocks will absorb contaminants from the water, and let false contaminants co-precipitate with flocks. By this way, the water is purified, clean. So we add different amount of coagulants because we want to determine the so-called optimum, the best coagulant dose. Coagulant is although it's not too expensive, but think about how much water we need to provide for Grand Forks, for city Grand Forks, for city Minneapolis, for city New York. The millions of gallons of water. So we want to save the coagulants we add to water. But meanwhile, we also don't want to add too little coagulants. So this jar test can allow us to determine the so-called optimum dose of coagulant. That's the basic of this lab. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. You can find my information from UND website or feng.xio@und.com. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.